day, AFGRI. My name is Phuti. I'm the Group Ethics Officer for AFGRI, and I'm going to be having conversations with the Chief Executive Officer of AFGRI, Tinus Prinsloo. We're going to first start talking about the results of the survey that we've had, that we got your input from. And I'm going to let Tinus talk a little bit about the results of that survey.
Yeah, thanks, Phuti. The survey that was done, the results was impressive. I mean, we came at tops in the group, but still there are some smaller things that we need to address. And I think it's nothing that we cannot fix. And hopefully when we do a follow-up survey that the results will be even better.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, those smaller things that he talks about, we're going to be talking about them in a lot of emails, in a lot of WhatsApp messages, in various campaigns, and you will see it is your own request, it is your own concerns that you said that we must talk about. And I'd like to ask Tinus to tell me what his own personal work ethic is.
Yeah, thanks, Phuti. For me, is to set an example for the rest of the staff, to walk the talk. Whatever you promise a person, you must deliver on that, and just set an example for the people. Some will say you have to work hard to set an example. I think you can work smarter. You don't have to work harder. You can just work smarter, but keep the ethics and the values of the group. Keep that in mind when whatever you do, whatever you're involved with, keep those in mind.
The values of the group, one of the values is accountability. How do you think the ethics fits within the accountability value?
Yeah, accountability is very important. You have to take accountability for your deeds. So if you do something wrong, you have to face the music. And that's the thing that I think we can address going forward.
People in an organization, like most of the organization, the group of companies and organizations are more rule-based. And it's only a few that are really not rule-based. And the question now becomes, how does one now go and solve moral dilemmas? They get to a point, they have to make a decision, and what should they do? Should they follow the law, or what should they do?
Well, again, I think they should follow the values of the group. I travel quite a lot. I've been to Uganda last week, and even if you enter any office in Uganda, you'll see the values in any of the offices. So if you just look at all those values and you follow those values, I think then it speaks for itself. Then you shouldn't have to be concerned about the ethics. It will be part of the values.
Talking about various countries, I mean, the law will set a minimum for you to act ethically, but ethics actually sets the maximum. So what Tinus is saying is in whichever country we are at, you'll use AFGRI's values, and that's what you apply. No matter what the law says, if the law sets a certain minimum standard, we still will uphold to our own maximum standards, and that's how you're supposed to solve ethical dilemmas at the moment. People tend to get confused as to, okay, what is an ethical behavior? And in this context, what would our CEO think is an ethical behavior in the company?
Well, Phuti, if it's not morally right, then it is unethical. So for me, again, referring back to the values, if you follow the values, that is ethical. If you do something that's not within the values of the country, that is unethical. It's not it's a more a gray area. It's not black and white like the law. This is ethical or non-ethical. I mean, it can differ from happening, whatever happens in a certain country to another country, and it can be different from country to country. It can be different from an individual to an individual, from a group to another group. So there's no certain rules about ethical. It's just if it's not morally right, then it's unethical.
Okay, talking about AFGRI as a company, how can we as a company improve our own ethical behavior?
Again, if you look back at the survey that was done, it's for me the smaller things that we missed. The more difficult stuff was done correctly, according to me, but it's the smaller things, respect for each other. I mean, how many times did we see it within the survey that the people say, well, some of the seniors are not greeting them, or they not respect them. And that's the stuff that I think that's easy to fix, and which we should at least address before the next survey, before we do the next survey.
Thank you, Tinus, for the insights you've given us. And my fellow colleagues, the small stuff is what matters, and we will be having these conversations in the weeks to come. Until next time, goodbye.